Alright, Rally Portugal is almost upon us, so let's have a look at this event. Let's talk through the stages. There's not really much to say on the forecast because whilst it's raining over the course of the weekend before the event, it's going to pretty much be dry throughout. Let's have a bit of a look at what we have in front of us. 340 kilometre stages or thereabouts, starting off with Figueira de Foz and the Friday being spent in the south. You see stages like Luçà and Arganil popping up. Lusada itself is on the Saturday. But the first leg is about 130 kilometres of stages. The second leg, 145 kilometres of stages. And then that's a bit further up towards the north. That's where we have our Amarante, for example. And yeah, Lusada to round off that day. 145 kilometres of stages, meaning that there's only 62 on the final leg. No service on the final day, and you have two stages, Cabeceras de Basto and Faf, and of course a regroup before a midday power stage. Each of the other loops, the Friday we have a tyre fitting zone in Arganil, because in the south you're not near the service park, you only have an overnight regroup after stage 1. And yeah, the proper service that we get will be on the Friday evening and then on the Saturday afternoon in the longest leg of the event. What that means is crews, much like in some other events, I mean Mexico's one that's had this in the past, Wales has had this in the past, will have to think about how they are going to manage their cars over the course of the Friday, because they might have to carry more spare parts on the Friday, because only with a tyre fitting zone means that it's largely on the road sections and before or after stages that they're going to be able to do any kind of repairs should they, damage their suspension. Something that happened to both of the Sebs in 2022. And speaking of the entry list, we have 9 Rally 1 cars, we have 4 Toyotas. And for the first time this season, we will see Carlo Roffampera and Seb Ogier on the stages. The entry list goes as follows: Thierry Neuville, Elfyn Evans, Adrian Fourmeau, Oid Tanak, Carlo Roffampera, Taka Katsuta, Sebastian Ogier, Gregoire Munster, and then Danny Sordo, who's getting his first start of the season. Now, it's worth saying on top of this that Danny Sordo has done some practice in the Rally 1 hybrid car. He showed up to a Portuguese event not too far away to use that as a kind of test bed, the same way that they took Andreas Mikkelsen to some roads in Italy to run an event as a kind of practice, because you can run those hybrid cars in national championships, just not for points. And what you'll see as well, because this does double up with the Portuguese national championship, is that we'll see some more Rally 2 cars. There's 40 Rally 2 cars entered in the event, and in addition to that, we will see some people who did make the jump across to doing the national event who are here in the Rally Portugal as well, because typically they would use Rally Serras de Faf, which was an ERC round, but it wasn't on the ERC calendar this season. There's a lot of weird things with competitors running in events that use official WRC stages or lengths of stages. It's very tightly regulated, because in the noughties you would have the sort of tarmac specialists who lived in the area, driving those roads every day, and it would be seen as an unfair advantage. But let's get into that Rally 2 entry list. Oliver Solberg is the top seeded one, as is Johan Russell. They are tied on points. Then we have Gus Greensmith, Pepe Lopez, Sami Payari, meaning that of those first 5 entrants you have 2 Fabias, but then you also have a Citroen, a Fiesta, and a Toyota. Then Nikolai Greisens entered for the event, but not entered for WRC2. Jorg Linnemey, Rupert Koronen, Jan Solens, Larry Una. We have the next-gen Toyota Gazoo Racing entrants of Yuki Yamamoto and Hikaru Kagure. Pierre-Louis Lube, I think, is that the first appearance in the season we're going to see of him in the WRC since having left M Sport. He did do the shakedown event in Portugal and was actually challenging Chris Meek for the win, and Chris Meek is going to be showing up in the number 35. We have Teemu Surunen making his, I think, first appearance of the season as well here. Marco Bellaccia, Fabrizio Zaldivar, Josh McAleen behind the wheel of a Fabia instead of behind the wheel of a Hyundai backed by Motorsport Ireland. Motorsport Ireland are backing William Crichton, We also have Martin Prokop in a Fabia. I think the first time since Sardinia last year he was behind the wheel of Fabia. Usually he's behind the wheel of a Fiesta. And then we have some more national entrants in Armando Arrojo, Ricardo Teodosio, and Jose Pedro Fontes, who are all quite well known, and they've picked up points before in the WRC in Portugal. In addition to that, we have Roberto Dapra, Lewis Bates, who you will have seen down under. He's started running the Yaris Rally 2 this season in the APRC in Australia, instead of running the old AP4 style. And then we have a few more different entrants into that class, some of which you might not recognise, who are typically entered into the National Series. But it's a nice blend of some of the old Fabias, some of the new ones, some old Fiesta R5s even, and then some Yaris's. A handful of WRC3 entrants. We've got 3 Clios in there, and the rest of them being Fiestas, and then quite a nice healthy amount of Rally 4s who were entered in the National Championship. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how this will pan out. It's going to be great to see all of these different names on the stages. The person to look out for in terms of Rally 1 will be Danny Sordo, because unlike Mickelson, who struggled a bit because he hasn't really had the opportunity to have much Rally 1 seat time, that Hyundai is quite tricky. Danny Sordo's been well embedded in the Hyundai program. He's well known at Portugal. It's the closest to a home event he's going to get this season. And, well, even though he's a tarmac specialist, 2 of his 3 wins came in Sardinia on gravel. He's good at these events, and he always brings the points home for Hyundai. He had a run of 3rd place finishes in a row. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.